All right, guys, here's a push day from last week. This is my second push day of the week. This one's a bit more pumpy, quite a bit higher pace. Like I said, in every other video, all this shit's sped up because my sets are incredibly long. This movement here, really good. As I'm pressing, I'm thinking about pressing through, the wet cement or stuff that you guys have heard me say in the other videos. I'm really trying to get some more supination out of the shoulders as it allows me to. Not a ton. It's just not letting me get a ton out of the shoulders, but I am trying to build that up over time. It will actually provide some rehab application. So, man, if we can use training as rehab, I mean, that's always great, right? So that's part of this movement here. Really, the other intention of this movement is just to get the pecs full of blood for what's to come next and really get that pre-pump going. Like I said, very short rest periods in between these. I think I did 4 sets here, like 30 seconds in between. The goal is just to really pre-pump the chest, get the blood flowing, get connected with the muscle. In the bottom there, you guys have heard me say it a million times now, the intention is all on the pec and not letting the elbows hold it and things like that. Just thinking about the pec alone. Same thing with this movement here. I'm actively just trying to get more length out of the pec in the bottom and keep them active the entire time. So in the pause, I'm really just driving the pecs towards my handles there, and just finding more ways to stay engaged with the muscle. And as I drive, I push away controlled. I don't just explode. Same thing with the wet cement, just trying to control that push. The band actually helps me mentally. I'm not using it for the application of necessarily what accommodated resistance is for. It's actually just cueing me to remember to keep tension, if that makes sense. Because as you're pressing against the band, it is getting heavier. So it shifts me back to the focus of the pec if I do it properly. If I really think about the band, I'm thinking that the band is my pec almost, and a lot of this stuff is going through my head. I pick like one cue for the day and I kind of obsess over it. I find the one that's going to work early on in the workout, and hopefully I find it fast, and then I'm like, man, that's it. I can feel my pecs. And then I just stay on that cue for literally everything else that, comes throughout the workout. So some of that stuff was working for me today. All this whole workout was really good. I got a huge pump from it. The pecs were full of blood, which I don't always get. A lot of the times I'll feel my triceps like pumped, and I actually had a really good chest pump from this day. Same thing with the chains. I'm not necessarily using it for the application that chains would typically be used for, but part of the thing I'm doing is in the bottom of that movement, I'm thinking about bringing the links down one at a time, the links of the chain, and resting them on the ground, not letting them crash on the ground. So I'm like unhinging the chain or unclicking the chain down each link at a time, almost like I'm stepping it down. It just, like I said, guys, I use all this weird shit that I connect with for whatever reason, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stay with this. So the intention of lowering the weight, I'm actually thinking about the chains hitting the ground, and I'm thinking about bringing them down one link at a time. This is a brutal tri-set, very limited rest throughout this whole workout, really. Then we go into a pec minor dip. This is good for shoulder health, and it looks like an interesting movement, but it's very challenging, and I love the feeling of it. I think this is the last round here. My chest was completely blown up at this point. Just lots and lots of blood. That was the focus of the day. You can see the weights never really get heavy at any point. I'm just thinking about driving blood right now, and really just getting the most I can out of using lighter loads, and just making things harder. So those push-ups are okay. I'm pretty terrible at them. At this point in the workout, I'm pretty smoked. This is I believe the last thing for chest, and I think we move on. Yeah, here we're doing shoulders. Same thing here. You're just going to see me. These are kind of a pain to set up because of those wrist cuffs. So I think I do a total of 3 or 4 sets. And instead of like racking it, I kind of just hold the weight there, and just rest like in between sets like that. It was just, like I said, it's a pain in the butt to get those wrist cuffs on and off, and it's just a waste of time. I'd rather just sit there. I mean, you don't need a ton of rest for things like shoulders. I mean, you're not going like crazy heavy on them on a movement like this. So I just take the rest that I need and just get right back into it. So really, really like this movement. I'm getting better and better at it each week. Thinking about throwing the hands out to the side, not just up. If you think about throwing them just up too much, you actually get way too much trap involvement. This is our actual rest pause right here. So I do one more round, and then I do what would be like a front relax pose, and just hold that for like a static iso hold to finish off the delts here. So you'll see me right after this one, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So really fighting just to keep that tension on the delt, staying very intentional with that. Here's the skip hill rear delts, real high rep, tons and tons of blood. I'm just cranking on those rear delts. Same thing here, very, very limited rest. We're just blasting these shoulders with fire and torture, and just demanding them to volumize and grow and shape up and all the good stuff. We all want big, beautiful shoulders. I mean, who doesn't? It's a great look. The rear delt really completes the look of a physique, especially on stage. You know, when you turn to the side and your rear delts are just flat, it's a very strange look. So lots of intention. You see those little partials there. Finish off everything I have for those rear delts. Just blow them up. That's how I train shoulders. Just fire, pain, reps, little rest. Just keep torturing those things. Similar to how I train calves, really. I think those smaller muscle groups, for me at least, respond really well to just pure torture and fire. So that's the goal here. Here is my favorite tricep superset. So these are rolling dumbbell tricep extensions. I've been doing these for a long time. It is my absolute favorite tricep movement. If I could only do one thing for triceps the rest of my life, it would be this movement right here. Then I superset them with a single dumbbell overhead tricep extension. This is actually quite good for shoulder health too. It does work in a little bit of rehab at the same time, which is great. And the intention here is really trying to get a ton out of that stretch, and keep it in the tricep, not just the elbows. Thanks guys for watching. TommyJohnCoaching.com, ChaseIronsForm.com. Thank you.